Tigercast fans, the off-season is now here and there's already been a couple of changes to the club. Two that we were probably expecting and one that we weren't really expecting from a coaching perspective. So we'll talk about those today and get all of your thoughts in the comments below. From a player standpoint, Jacob Bauer was not offered another contract for 2026 and neither was Colina. Jacob Bauer was pick number 10 in the 2022 mid-season draft. He played 12 games at AFL level for 11 goals. So in 2023, he had 4 games. 2024, he had 3 games. And in 2025, he played the 5 games. And like I said, 11 goals in total. But Bauer was one that I had mentioned in pre-season. I think a lot of other people felt the same. They thought he was maybe ready to take the opportunity and to really progress and step up to the next level. Pre-season stuff was looking really solid. His form in the scratch matches seemed to be really good. And he was probably, I think he actually was in line to be the starting key forward alongside Tom Lynch, which we're all pretty excited about. But he just wasn't able to take the opportunity with both hands, unfortunately. And I guess a big part of what's maybe happened here is with the drafting of Harry Armstrong, Jonty Fall and Tom Sims. It's a very, very hot competition for spots in the key forward area. And I guess in a lot of ways that Bauer's probably been a victim of that, which is a shame. Like these type of times of years are always shit because people always get let go. But we do thank Jacob Bauer for his time and service at the Richmond Football Club. Does love to fly for a mark, as Jacob Bauer, as we all saw in the VFL games and even AFL games. He's not afraid to go from 2 or 3 deep and try and take a big hanger. And he's actually got a really compact and nice kicking action. So I always felt if he was going to piece it all together, that it's going to be quite an important part from a goal kicking and a scoring perspective because he is a neat shot for goal. But we wish Jacob all the best with what he does in the future. And obviously, sadly, he did do the ACL in July as well, which really bad timing when you don't have a contract in front of you. And I've seen a few people ask this question. I don't know the actual answer in terms of what happens in terms of recovery-wise. Do the club or the AFL or whatever Players Association still help out during a transitional period, even though he's been delisted? I really don't know. It's actually a really good question. If anyone does know, I'm keen to learn more about it, to be honest. But we wish Jacob all the best in both ACL recovery and, of course, whatever he does next in his football journey as well. And Colina was a Category B rookie, obviously a basketballer from the States. There was a lot of hype about him when we first had flagged bringing him over from Hawaii. And I think he actually deferred almost a year to complete some more basketball stuff and then come across. But Colina wasn't a stranger to football. He had actually played at junior level, so it wasn't a foreign game to him. And you could tell he had the bare bones of a footballer. Like, he didn't look uncoordinated as much as what a 213cm basketballer may look when they play AFL. But he just didn't have a lot of luck injury-wise, did he? He had the persistent back issue for almost most of his time here, which ruled him out for a lot of last year. And then I think he hurt his shoulder late in the VFL season this year as well. But he managed 14 games in the VFL, kicked 3 goals, 8 behinds. I was always a bit bullish on Colina, probably in a lot of hope that he was going to sort of develop and come through, kind of like what Mason Cox did for Collingwood. Because when he was able to mark the ball at the highest point, he was really difficult to defend on. And we obviously know that we could do with a very, very tall ruckman at various stages to help give us first use. But it wasn't to be. So we do wish Colina all the best in his future endeavours, whether it be basketball or football. But yeah, we always appreciate anyone who pulls on the yellow and black. The third change that's already been released by the club so far, and this one, well, it definitely came as a surprise to me, maybe not to other people, I guess. But Steve Morris is departing the club to spend more time with his young family. So the club website on their article had mentioned he's already got one young child and another one on the way in the next few months. And he's been at the club since 2012, would you believe? 2012. So he's been an AFL player, VFL captain, VFL senior coach, AFL development, and a line coach. He won the 2019 VFL Premiership as the captain, and he played 87 games for the AFL side as a player, which we all loved his tenacity and his hardness at the ball, and it really transferred into his coaching as well. It's a credit to him. Jake Batchelor, who's taken over, Lonergan and all the other crew at VFL level and development, our VFL program has really become a hot property, really, for players who have been picked up in mid-season drafts or end-of-year drafts for other clubs. They've done a super job, and that really all sort of kick-started with Steve Morris and the work that he put in. And he was actually our backline coach as well this year as one of the senior assistants. And as we all know, the backline was probably the most stable part of the ground for us, and where we probably felt the most comfortable, and they were doing some really good things and building really nicely. Had plenty of key defenders to work with. Obviously had Sam Banks introduced down there as well. Luke Traynor into the mix from a draftee perspective when he had his time down there. So it's going to leave a big hole, Steve Morris leaving the club, but you definitely can't begrudge the man for wanting to spend more time with his young family. Super important time in his family's life and his life. So obviously he gets absolutely everyone's blessing to go and do that. And we wish him all the best with family life and being a father and a husband. And hopefully that all goes well and the kids aren't too much of a handful, as kids can be. But that will be interesting to see what we do in that space from a replacement perspective. I guess what some people maybe often don't realise is the soft cap can be a tricky thing to navigate for clubs with the spend they're allowed to have. I'm not sure if the AFL are looking to beef that up at all this year. I know there's always back and forth talk between clubs and AFL. Not sure where it landed, but it will be fascinating to see what we do, whether we promote from within or whether we look external and to bring someone new into the mix with some fresh eyes. I'm sure Uze will have some people he maybe has dealt with at other clubs. I know people are going to throw names out there like Goodwin or Ken Hinkley, not necessarily to be the backline coach, but maybe as more of a coaching mentor or director or overarching type person, which I think we should be open to doing if it's going to benefit the club. But I suppose the immediate attention will be for the backline position. So they are the three changes so far for the Richmond Football Club. I doubt we'll hear much more until once the VFL team is fully completed in finals. The reason why Jacob, Bauer and Colina would have been told this news and why it would have been published is because they're both not going to be playing due to their injuries, whereas all the other players are able to be selected, so therefore we won't hear anything until afterwards would be how I think it will pan out. But that's the news for today. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and send some love and support Steve Morris's way in the comments as well. So we'll keep an eye out for more Richmond news as it comes through, but until next time, go Tigers.